I used to be a Weird Warriors kid. Now I'm a Weird Warriors adult. Each week, I'm discussing a chapter of the iconic books by Aaron Hunter. My name is Charlie, and in today's episode, I will be talking about Prophecies Begin, Book 1, Into the Wild, Chapter 13. Join me on this adventure into the world of warrior cats. Before I begin diving into this chapter, I do want to remind anyone that if you'd like to subscribe for $5 a month on Substack, you can get basically the bonus extended version of this podcast, which includes longer episodes that have moments where I talk about spoilers when I read part of the book and it reminds me, oh yeah, I remember this happens later, and things like that, as well as unboxings and other behind the scenes content, and you also get access to the comments section. So if you'd like to do that, you can go ahead on Substack. But otherwise, let's get on with the episode. So the chapter art for chapter 13 is the same as the cover art for this book, which is Rusty, or Firepaw, looking at the viewer with ThunderClan cats in the background right after he removed his collar during the battle with Longtail, although the collar isn't in the frame. But the chapter starts off with Firepaw arriving at ThunderClan camp to warn Yellowfang about ThunderClan coming back to attempt to, kick her out, kill her. If we remember from last week's chapter, Broken Star basically said, there's a horrible cat that you should look out for, heavily implying that it was Yellowfang. So ThunderClan was freaking out about that and hurrying back, and Firepaw ran ahead. So he wakes up Yellowfang, but she says, I wasn't sleeping. She sounded calm and alert. You came straight from the gathering to me? That must mean you've heard. So Broken Star kept his promise. And Firepaw asks about that, and she says ShadowClan's noble leader promised to drive me from every clan territory. What did he say about me? And Firepaw explains. And Firepaw asks Yellowfang, would you really harm our kits? And she says, do you think so? And Firepaw says, no, I don't believe you would ever harm a kit. But why would Broken Star say such a thing? But before Yellowfang can answer, the sounds of the cats comes nearer. Firepaw urges Yellowfang to go. It says her safety was more important than his curiosity. And I think that's a very important trait of Firepaw. And I hope and think we'll continue to see that trait of him throughout the series. But Yellowfang didn't move. She said, Firepaw, you believe I'm innocent, and I'm grateful for that. If you believe me, then others might, and I know Blue Star will give me a fair hearing. I can't run forever. I'm too old. I shall stay here and face whatever your clan decides for me. And I think Yellowfang is smart for having faith in Blue Star, because Blue Star would definitely not allow her warriors to just recklessly kill a cat without having a discussion about it. Like, we need to figure out, why are we doing this? Is the cat guilty or innocent? Is death a just punishment? And let's think before we act. And I like that Blue Star is like that. Firepaw asks, what about Tiger Claw? And Yellowfang basically says, even he will obey Blue Star. Yellowfang urges Firepaw to go away. So Firepaw touches his nose to her patchy fur, then creeps silently away into the shadows to watch. And I just want to say, the image in my head of Tiger Claw leading the charge against Yellowfang reminds me of Gaston leading the charge to kill the Beast in Beauty and the Beast. Although I think in reality, Blue Star is the one leading the cats. Because it says, through the gorse came the cats, Blue Star first, accompanied by Lionheart. Frostfur and Willowpelt were right behind them. Frostfur immediately checked on the kits, and Tiger Claw and Darkstripe strode into the clearing together. The others followed behind with Ravenpaw and Greypaw at the rear. As soon as Firepaw saw his friends, he joined them. And I love this. Greypaw immediately knows what happened. He says, "You went to warn Yellowfang, didn't you?" Firepaw admits that he did and explains that she isn't going to leave and trusts Bluestar. And Firepaw asks if anyone missed him, and Ravenpaw says, "Only us." And the cats that had been behind at the camp during the gathering start to wake up from the commotion and run into the clearing. A tabby warrior named Running Wind asks what has happened. Now, I think this is the first time we hear the name Running Wind, and I just wonder, why is this cat not in Wind Clan? I actually have a vague memory of this cat, and I think we'll see him more in the future, but that name just very much sounds like a Wind Clan name. I mean, wind is literally in the name, but Longtail tells the clan how Broken Star has demanded hunting rights for ShadowClan in ThunderClan territory, and Willowpelt says he warned of a rogue cat who will harm our kits. It must be Yellowfang. And the crowd starts to get distressed. And Bluestar orders silence. She jumps onto the high rock, and all the cats settle instinctively in front of her. And then there's a loud screech as Tigerclaw and Darkstripe drag Yellowfang from her nest, and they dump her in front of the high rock. And I love this. Firepaw is such a good cat. It says, he felt every muscle in his body tense. Without thinking, he dropped into a low crouch, ready to spring at Yellowfang's persecutors. So I think he has a good sense of justice and fairness and defending his friends, and I really like that. Although Greypaw does warn Firepaw to wait and let Bluestar handle it. And Bluestar says, "I gave no order to attack our prisoner." So they let go of Yellowfang. And Frostfur comes out of the nursery and says, "We got back in time. The kits are safe." Or maybe there was never a risk. "Of course they are," snapped Bluestar. "Thank you." But Frostfur says, "You are going to throw Yellowfang out, aren't you?" And Darkstripe, oh my god, he says, "Throw her out? We should kill her now." Bluestar asks, "What has she done?" And Darkstripe is like, "Well, you were at the gathering. Broken Star said she..." And Bluestar says, and I should start doing her British accent now. "Broken Star said only that there is a rogue somewhere in the woods. He did not mention Yellowfang by name. The kits are safe. For as long as she is in my clan, Yellowfang will not be harmed in any way." I feel like my bad British accent does not do Bluestar justice. Like, she would sound way more graceful and intimidating. But, oh well. Yellowfang offers to leave, but Bluestar says there is no need. You've done nothing wrong. You'll be safe here. And she says, "It is time we discuss the real threat to our clan, Broken Star. We've already begun to prepare for an attack by ShadowClan. We'll carry on with those preparations and patrol our borders more frequently. When Clan has gone, RiverClan has given hunting rights to ShadowClan warriors. ThunderClan stands alone against Broken Star." Sorry, I'm distracted by my British accent. I don't know, is it too distracting that I should just not be doing that at all? But like, it's fun to do voices when reading this. I don't know. If you're a paid subscriber to this podcast, please let me know in the comments what you think I should do in terms of the accents and everything. And Bluestar says, "The clans have never shared hunting rights before. They've always managed to support themselves in their own territories. There's no reason why this should change." And Tigerclaw nods approvingly. But Small Ear brings up, like, can we defend ourselves against ShadowClan, though? Because WindClan couldn't, and RiverClan won't even try. But Bluestar says they will not give up their territory without a fight. And all the cats are nodding approvingly. And then Bluestar says she will travel to the Moonstone tomorrow. "The warriors of StarClan will give me the strength I need to lead ThunderClan through this dark time." And then she goes to talk to Lionheart. Firepaw asks Greypaw about the Moonstone. Greypaw says it's a rock deep underground that shines in the dark. All clan leaders have to spend one night at the Moonstone when they are first chosen. There, the spirits of StarClan share with them. And Firepaw asks what they share with them, and Greypaw says, "I don't know. I know only that the new leaders have to sleep near the stone, and as they sleep, they have special dreams. After that, they have the gift of 9 lives and take the name Star." And Firepaw sees Yellowfang limping back to her nest, and he can tell that the way Tiger Claw and Darkstripe had dragged her out in front of the high rock had aggravated her old injury. And then Dustpaw pops his head out of the apprentice's den and asks, "So what happened?" Now this confuses me because I thought Dustpaw and Sandpaw were supposed to be guarding the camp during the gathering, but it seems like they were sleeping. And why didn't they come out of the den when all the commotion was happening? Did they sleep through all of that? So Greypaw explains the whole story to Sandpaw and Dustpaw, while Firepaw gazes out at the camp and notices Tiger Claw looming over Ravenpaw. And based on their body language, he can tell that Tiger Claw is saying mean things to Ravenpaw, but he can't hear what he's saying. And just as he's about to get closer to listen, Ravenpaw runs across the clearing. Firepaw tries to intercept him and ask about it, but Ravenpaw just runs past and into the apprentice's den. And as Firepaw is about to follow him, he sees Lionheart approaching, who says that Bluestar wishes Firepaw, Greypaw, and Ravenpaw to go with her to the Moonstone. Dustpaw and Sandpaw look disappointed, but he says not to worry, they'll make the journey eventually. And of course, Firepaw wonders why she had chosen him for this journey. And Lionheart says she wants you all to rest now, but first go to Spotted Leaf and collect the herbs you'll need for the expedition. And Lionheart asks where Ravenpaw is, and Firepaw says he's already in the den. So Lionheart says, "That's good, let him sleep, and you can get the herbs for him." He says, "You'll be leaving at dawn." And Sandpaw says, "Well then, you'd better go and see Spotted Leaf." And Firepaw doesn't hear any sourness in her voice. It says there is no time for jealousy now. All the cats in the clan seem to be united against the threat from ShadowClan. So Firepaw and Greypaw go to Spotted Leaf, who gives them the herbs they'll need in some leaf wraps. She also, at Firepaw's request, says that she'll give Yellowfang poppy seeds after they've gone. As he bent his head to pick up the herbs, Spotted Leaf stretched over and gently rubbed his cheek with her nose. Firepaw breathed in her sweet warm scent and purred his thanks. Greypaw picked up the other two, and they left. And Spotted Leaf wishes them good luck. And Firepaw asks Greypaw where the Moonstone is, and Greypaw says it's beyond clan territory, at a place called Highstones. It lies deep underground in a cave we call Mothermouth. And Greypaw says he's never been there before, but all apprentices have to make the journey before they become warriors. But don't get your hopes up, we still have to finish our training. And then they try to go to sleep despite the excitement of the journey ahead. And that's the end of chapter 13. It's a very short chapter, but a lot happens in it. They almost kill Yellowfang, and then the clan gets united and motivated against ShadowClan. We see more of Tiger Claw intimidating Ravenpaw, and there's an assignment to go see the Moonstone with a bunch of explanation about the Moonstone, which we'll definitely get more of in the next chapter. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, if you'd like to subscribe for $5 a month on Substack, you'll get access to extended episodes that include spoilers, as well as access to the comments section. But otherwise, I'll see you next week. This has been Into the World of Warrior Cats.